I just texted him, we're getting ready to go on. Can you text him again? TJ. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being in person, and also those viewing the meeting on the Hartford Public Access Television Station. I'm now calling to order the regular scheduled meeting for May 13, 2024. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Bilodeau.
There she is.
Here. Here.
Councilman Clark. Councilman Gale.
Here.
Councilman Hernandez.
Here.
Councilman Mictum.
Here.
Councilwoman Rosado. Councilwoman Rossetti.
Here.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Here.
Councilman Thomas.
Here.
You have a quorum, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Would we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Mr. Clerk. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Madam Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Council President. I make a motion to approve the minutes of April 22nd, 2024.
There is a motion on the floor to accept the minutes for the April 20, 22, 24 council meeting.
Second.
Is there a second? It's been properly second. Mr. Clerk, please call the, any discussion? Let me ask, make sure there's no discussion. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Bilodeau.
Yes.
Councilman Clark. Councilman Clark. Councilman Gale.
I'm sorry, this is a yes/no vote on accepting the minutes?
We accept the minutes.
Okay, so I will vote yes.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilman Mictum.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Motion
Just
passed.
suspend the rules to accept. Madam Majority Leader.
I make a motion to suspend the rules.
To add the supplemental agenda.
Second.
Add supplemental 8.1.
Second.
Second?
See, it's on here.
Is it been second for supplement? Okay. Mr. Town Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Bilodeau.
Yes.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilman Mictum.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay. Madam Majority Leader.
I make a motion to place the following items on consent. 3.1, Mayor Arulampulam with accompanying resolution authorizing the city to accept a grant of $20,000 from Keep America Beautiful. 3.2, Mayor Arulampulam with accompanying resolution authorizing the city to accept a grant of $75,000 from the National Endowment of the Arts. 4.1, Committee of the Whole with accompanying resolution confirming the appointment of Jeffrey T. Cavello as Director of the Department of Emergency Services and Telecommunications. 6.1, Council President Surgeon, Majority Leader Rossetti, Assistant Majority Leader Clark, Councilwoman Bilodeau, Councilman Hernandez, Councilwoman Rosado, Councilman Mitchum, resolution to raise the Haitian flag to commemorate Haitian Flag Day, and 8.1, Mayor Arulampulam with accompanying resolution authorizing the city to enter into a memorandum of understanding with Charter Oak Health Center, Hartford Healthcare, and the Hartford Chamber of Commerce to support the implementation of the third annual Open Streets Program in 2024.
Second.
Okay. The item is the motion has been properly made and second. Any discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to comment on the item 6.1, the Haitian flag. The spirit of the resolution, I'm fully supportive of, but I don't want it to go unnoticed that the country of Haiti right now is in tremendous turmoil. I think there's a grave humanitarian crisis that's taking place there as we speak. Unfortunately for those folks, I don't think they've had peace in that country for many, many years. I'm hopeful that solutions can be found so that, you know, when we here in the city of Hartford raise a flag to celebrate Haiti, we can also celebrate that it's a Haiti that's got a quality of life that's decent for all the people that are in Haiti. Thank you, Madam President.
You're welcome, Councilman. Mr. Town Clerk. Any more discussion? Seeing or hearing any more discussion, Mr. Town Clerk?
Councilwoman Bilodeau.
yes,
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilman Migdon.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
yes,
Councilwoman Rosetti.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Madam Majority Leader.
I make a motion to receive the following items. 3.4, Committee of the Whole, communication concerning a resolution that the Court of Common Council hereby requests the presence of the Superintendent of Hartford Public Schools or their designated representative to present a comprehensive report on the current status, challenges, and achievements related to the implementation of the Vento Act within Hartford schools. 3.5, Operations Management, Budget, and Government Accountability, communication concerning recommended general fund budget and capital improvement program ordinance of appropriation for general fund, ordinance concerning appropriations in the capital improvement fund, and ordinance tax levy on the list of October 1st, 2023.
Second.
Thank you. Motion has been made and properly second for the following items to be received. Items 3.4, items 3.5. Is there any discussion? Seeing or hearing no discussion, Mr. Town Clerk.
Councilwoman Bilodeau.
yes,
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilman Migdon.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
yes,
Councilwoman Rosetti.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Town Clerk. Madam Majority Leader.
I make a motion to refer the following items. 3.3 to Labor, Education, Workforce, and Youth Committee. Mayor Aru Lamplam with accompanying resolution confirming the appointment of members of the City of Hartford Board of Education. To the Health and Human Services Committee. 6.2, Councilwoman Rosado, Council President Surgeon, resolution recognizing October as Menopause Awareness Month in the City of Hartford. To the Committee of the Whole. 6.3, Councilwoman Rosado, Council President Surgeon, resolution inviting Elizabeth Hortonchef to address the Hartford Court of Common Council on the progress and future of educational equity and integration efforts.
Thank you. Anybody second?
Second. Second.
Thank you. The motion has been made and properly second to refer the following items. Item 3.3 to the Labor, Education, Workforce, and Youth Committee. Item 6.2 to the Health and Human Service Committee. And item 6.3 to the Committee of a Whole. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing no discussion, Mr. Town Clerk.
Councilwoman Bilodeau.
yes,
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilman Migdon.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
yes,
Councilwoman Rosetti.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Town Clerk. Madam Majority Leader.
I make a motion to postpone the following items. 5.1, Mayor Aru Laplam with accompanying recommended general fund budget and capital improvement program, ordinance of appropriation for general fund, ordinance concerning appropriation in the capital improvement fund, and ordinance tax levy on list of October 1st, 2023. 5.2, Mayor Aru Laplam with accompanying ordinance amending the anti-blight and property maintenance program.
Second.
Thank you. The item is made and properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing or hearing no discussion, Mr. Town Clerk.
Councilwoman Bilodeau.
Yes.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilman Migdum.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Town Clerk. Madam Majority Leader.
I make a motion to postpone indefinitely the following item, 5.3, Operations Management, Budget, and Government Accountability Committee, with an accompanying resolution calling for the Hartford Town Clerk to mail absentee ballot applications and essential information to each registered voter in the city prior to the presidential election to ensure maximum public awareness and participation.
Second.
Item been properly made, I've been made and properly second. Any discussion? Councilman Gale.
Yeah, Madam President, respectfully, I ask that this matter be taken up for action tonight, as opposed to postponed indefinitely. My understanding is that the effect of postponing it indefinitely would be to remove it from this agenda, and I think it would be preferable to simply take action on it if that's the will of the body, and vote it up or vote it down.
Any other discussion? Councilman Mitchum.
Well, I guess I initially have a procedural question, which
Sure.
is, does what Councilman Gale has said qualify as a motion in its own right? Because I would like to speak on the substance of this, but,
There is a discussion on the floor, so you can speak on the substance on it.
well, then I'll speak on the substance of it, and I'll agree with Councilman Gale that we should take it to action, we should vote on it. This is a proposal to send absentee ballots to every voter. It may be that some people don't fill them out right. It may be that some people are confused by them, but it certainly will not depress voter participation or reduce voter participation. It can only increase voter participation. To send essential information to voters, to send the ability to vote absentee to voters, is to draw them into the process. And if we increase participation only a little bit, that's still good. So it's pretty wild to me that, from what I understand, there's 5 members of this body who don't support that, and on top of that, who won't just come out and say it with their chest, who won't just vote no and say, you know what, no, I'm not really here for the voter participation. So I agree with Councilman Gale. Let's put it on action so that you all can say what you want to say, which is that you actually don't want more voter participation, right? Own the thing.
The motion is on the floor to postpone this item indefinitely. Councilman Gale.
Yeah,
Because this-
I'm
we're in
going to
the
take
discussion.
what Councilman Migdum just said and what I said and turn that into a motion. I make a motion that this be taken from postponed indefinitely and put on action.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Mr. Corporation Counsel.
Well, it was, the initial motion to postpone had been seconded, or it had not?
It has been seconded.
If it has already been made and seconded, I believe there has to be a vote on that motion first. Correct, because it was already properly seconded.
And it was only up for discussion.
Just
Okay.
A point,
So,
of,
Mr.
a point of order, if I could just ask a procedural question.
Sure.
I'm sorry to interrupt. When would have been the time then to make it, because it wasn't open for discussion until it was seconded. When would have been the moment to make the motion to put it on action?
If it was made and properly seconded, if that motion were to fail, then you would have an opportunity to make an a competing motion.
Gotcha.
Mr. Town Clerk, call the roll, please.
One second, Madam President. if
Sure.
I may. Since I thought I was going to have a second opportunity to discuss the matter, I would like to take a minute or two to second everything that Councilman Mictum stated. And I would like to hear some comment from people who are going to now apparently vote to abandon what is a very modest proposal. If you're inclined to postpone it indefinitely, can you at least articulate some downside? It's just, do you not want people to vote in this town? It's like you're somehow protecting what's a very miserable vote turnout here by not being willing to take even a modest effort to help engage voters in some other manner. So, will any member comment as to the downside of this modest suggestion? A modest suggestion, I would add, that the town clerk's office seems to support, that our corp counsel says there's no problem with, that the Secretary of State says there's no problem with, that the SEEC says not under their jurisdiction, that other states throughout the entire United States already do, but that Connecticut is a laggard in that we don't. We don't send any information to our voters. And all this does is send some information to a voter. One page. And it sends voters an absentee ballot. And guess what? As I walked into council chambers tonight, what is sitting on the table over by the door but a little pamphlet that says your vote counts? And what is this pamphlet about? It's about absentee ballot. It's a whole story about somebody who wants to vote and isn't going to be here on election day. What do? You get an absentee ballot. This proposal proposes to help every Hartford registered voter get that absentee ballot if they want it by giving them the application, and to the town clerk who requested it, including a self-addressed stamped envelope so they could send it back. So there's no prohibitions, no impositions to your attempting to vote by absentee ballot. Doesn't change the absentee ballot rules. It doesn't say that you can't still, that you don't have to still qualify for an absentee ballot. You still have to do all of those things. It doesn't suggest any changes to the state-mandated absentee ballot form. So again, I'm mystified completely by how 5 members of this council can turn down a measure that's designed to do one simple thing, to get increased voter turnout in the city of Hartford, which we know has the lowest voter turnout in the state of Connecticut, abysmal voter turnout. Thank you, Madam President.
You're welcome, Councilman. Seeing or hearing no discussion, any more discussion? Go ahead, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Council President. As someone who clearly remembers when they registered to vote, and as someone who I don't understand why my colleague is mystified, because I did explain to him, I did speak to our corp counsel, who said he didn't see anything wrong with it, but he also saw opportunity for litigation. And I have weighed the cost of what this is and what it opens us up to, and that is why I am voting against it, because I spoke to our corp counsel. Thank you, Madam President.
Councilman Mitchell.
Thank you, Madam President. And through you, I would ask Councilwoman Rossetti, because I did not get to talk to her about this. What does this open us up to in the way of litigation? What's the risk here?
Council President, I think that should be directed to corp counsel.
Sure.
Yeah, so I will weigh in on this. Not from a policy perspective, I'm just here to, give some insight. So I did indeed say to all of you that we're not legally prohibited from doing this, right? We can lawfully send out absentee ballots. I think the risk is that if there is a large uptick in absentee ballots, it will call into question the results of those ABs because we still don't have no excuse voting. So if we do see a significant uptick in AB votes this November without no excuse absentee voting, it would welcome challenges to that outcome, right? Because, yeah, go ahead.
If I could just to clarify a question.
Go
when we
ahead,
say-
Councilman Mitchell.
When we say challenges, we're talking about, for example, some sort of an audit by the Secretary of State, or what does that mean, challenges in this context?
No, I think it would be, it could manifest itself in that way, or it could be litigation between candidates, et cetera. And again, the city would not be the primary defendant in that case, but it could result in a more murky outcome if folks believe that they're questioning every single absentee ballot and whether or not they were legitimate.
Go ahead, Councilman Mitchell.
And here I will just comment on that, and I appreciate the clarification, but the history of murky results in municipal elections in this state, we know, right? We just saw it in Bridgeport the last time round. It's frequently about absentee ballots, but it's not about people just on their own filling out absentee ballots. The whole trouble is that people they don't have an easy way to go get the absentee ballots. If we're talking about homebound folks who wouldn't be able to get to the polls. And so political operatives go out to folks who don't have a lot of information, and they help them fill out the ballots, and lo and behold, a whole bunch of ballots materialize for one candidate. That's been the trouble. This, I would suggest, although it may lead to litigation among candidates like everything does now, this goes around that. Because instead of making people who can't get to somewhere to get an absentee ballot have to wait for someone to come to them, someone who has their own motives, it comes to them in the mail, right? Everybody gets an absentee ballot. We don't have to worry about the tradition of harvesting absentee ballots from certain sectors of the population. So I would say, if anything, this proposal improves upon the status quo.
Councilman Gale?
Thank you, Madam Chair. One further comment, if I may, based on Corp Counsel's comments. I would add two observations. Number one, during COVID, absentee ballot applications were mailed out to everyone. And during COVID, there was a huge uptick in absentee ballot voting here in the city of Hartford, throughout the entire state of Connecticut. And to my knowledge, that huge uptick in absentee ballot voting did not cause any challenges. Second point, to Councilman Michtom's point, the problem with absentee ballots and the litigation that we have seen is exactly what he stated. It's when the political parties control the process. We've had a series of problems in the city of Bridgeport with constant abuse of absentee ballot, so much so that recently in their last election, the judge ordered a new election, and a new primary and then a new general election. I understand HPA-TV has done a 4-part podcast on corruption in Bridgeport that focuses on absentee ballot problems, on absentee ballot misuse and probably fraud. This is attempting to solve that problem. And I ask you then, it certainly would appear to me that if you're opposing this, you're supporting Bridgeport. You are supporting you're supporting the status quo that we know. We don't have to speculate. We know that there's been absentee ballot problems throughout the state of Connecticut because of the current method in which absentee ballots are distributed, in which the applications are distributed, where you can walk into the town clerk's office and you can sign out 1,000 absentee ballot applications, and then you go personally deliver them. We are trying to preempt that by sending them to everyone. I think, and I just ask you, just do a simple balancing test. What in the world is the greater risk? The risk of status quo, where we know there's been absentee ballot fraud? Or the risk of taking a chance on something that we also know we did 4 years ago without any incident whatsoever? Thank you.
Let me say, and this is my last, my only comment on this issue. This item was debated in committee, and I am still, would not have voted for it if I was on that committee, and I will still not vote for it now, because I honestly believe that the state and the city has provided ample opportunities for people to come out and vote from early voting. We also have the potential, which is going to be on this year's ballot, of no excuse voting. I was personally involved in the 2020 election when the state mailed out the absentee ballot. And what I have seen from my experience as an election officer, I would wait until no excuse voting has been passed by the state. So therefore, any challenges or issues that happens, should there be an election that has been very close, I don't really would like to see the city be placed in that position. So I am going to myself, you know, if there's any other discussion, I'm going to tell the town clerk to please call the roll. And I'm going to
Just
call
a
the
point,
question.
We're voting on the postponement. just to
We're
be clear.
postponing the item indefinitely, yes. Mr. Town Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Bilodeau.
Yes.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
No.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilman Migdon.
No.
Councilwoman Rosado. Councilwoman Rosado.
No.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Councilman Thomas.
No.
Motion passed.
Madam Majority Leader.
I make a motion to go into executive session, 7.1, Mayor Aru Laplam, with an accompanying resolution approving the settlement of Shemaine Roberson versus the City of Hartford.
Second.
Motion is made in popular second. Mr. Town Clerk?
Councilwoman Bilodeau.
Yes.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yeah.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilman Migdon.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado. Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay. We're going to executive session. We'll be back in a few minutes. Or, yes. It's already set up.
I make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
Second.
Motion is made and properly second, Mr. Town Clerk? Motion has been made and properly second, Mr. Town Clerk?
Councilwoman Bilodeau. Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilman Migdon.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
What's the number?
Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Madam Majority Leader?
Thank you. I make a motion to,
Approve?
approve the following items. 7.1, Mayor Aru Laplam, pursuant to Chapter 8, Section 3 of the City Charter, the Court of Common Council hereby approves the settlement of the matter of Shemaine Roberson versus City of Hartford for $120,000.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly second. Mr. Town Clerk?
Councilwoman Bilodeau. Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilman Migdon.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Town Clerk. Seeing there is no items left to address at this council meeting, I want to recess the council meeting until May 21st noon. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a good night and stay safe.
Thank you.